Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode reaction to Arcane. This is Heart Live. My name is Matt. Hello. Last episode, what happened? Everything went to shit. Everything just fucking fell apart. And like the thing is that we knew that was gonna happen to some degree, but like I wasn't expecting it to be that bad, you know? So that was a great episode. Like I actually did like Google the name of the episode and I got IMDb the first result and the episode had like a 9.7. It was like Jesus, that episode was fucking good, and I'm pretty sure everyone like feels that. What happened specifically in the episode? I mean, everyone died except for Vi and Powder, I suppose. So like Vander got abducted by Silco. We finally got his name, and then the kids tried to go and break him out, and they were actually kind of succeeding. Though eventually Silco did unleash the monster on them, so maybe they wouldn't have succeeded anyway. Vi fought like 20 dudes and it was awesome. Milo and I forgot his name. Big Boy, Clagger. They were breaking Vander out and they were kind of succeeding. And then Powder showed up and threw one of the like magic crystal things, and that caused an explosion that blew up the entire building. And I didn't notice it right away in the episode, but in the editing I could see that so the crystal magic ball thing that actually exploded and got shot up into the room where everyone was in. You know, so Vi, Vander, Milo, and Clagger, they were all in this like side room. And the little ball got actually shot up into that room. And that's why that room specifically got super fucked up. It immediately killed like Clagger, I think. Milo got like impaled to a wall. And then the ceiling fell on him. And then it also fell on Vi. And then Vander is the one that kind of had to fight things off. And then he like hooked a minion. And then he rescued Vi. And then he also died. The main thing about that scene is at the end. Like when Powder comes in and she's like, hey, look, I did it. You know, it worked. And she's like proud and happy that she managed to like help. Only to like realize like 10 seconds later that she just killed everyone. I'm not gonna go over to this whole discussion again. Go watch previous episodes discussion if you want to hear my thoughts on that. But like, it was really sad and heartbreaking. And then right at the end, Silco shows up and he essentially is the only person right there for Powder because everyone else is dead or abandoned her. She's angry at Vi, and Vi actually tries to go and help Powder out because she's like, oh shit, Silco is talking to her. And then this guy, I think his name is Marcus, the one enforcer dude who we thought was an asshole, and he kind of is, but based on what we see previous episode, it looks like he really didn't want this. It looks like he's having that moment of like, oh fuck, I did this, you know? He puts Bite to sleep, or like he just grabbed her. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna go back and rewatch it, but he just said like quiet, or he'll kill you if he finds you, and he just took Vi away. And so there's the divide. The divide happened, and the thing about the divide is that the divide didn't need to happen. The divide didn't need to happen, and the only reason why it happened is because people were really emotional. They were kids, and then even then at the end, Vi tried to go back for her, and that dude Marcus didn't let her. And like, this is not knowing what would happen in the future, you know, but I know. But also the thing is that maybe she would have died. Maybe both of them would have died if they had gone and tried to like fight Silco or something. So I don't know what to do in that situation, dude. The divide happened and that was fucked. And then on the, as a side note, in the other side of the story, Jace and Victor managed to channel Hextech energy. So channeling magic through technology. They managed to do like an experiment that succeeded, and they were like floating, and they were like, oh man, and he was like, turn that off, and he was like, I don't know how to, sir. It was like a very like, I don't know, like Harry Potter scene. Dude, like one side of the story is playing Harry Potter, the other side of the story is fucked. The other side of the story is just so fucked. Like, okay, but now I feel like maybe the stories are gonna converge in some way. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen this episode. That was a long intro, sorry. Now remind me, I just gotta plug in my Patreon before I forget. So check out the link in the description or the pop-up on screen in order to go to my Patreon, where you can find early access episodes to up to episode 6 now, I think. As well as full-length reactions if you want my reaction to every episode just fully, not cut in like a highlight way. So yeah, check out the Patreon for that, or if you just want to support the channel, that's fine too. Anyway, we may begin. So Arcane, Season 1, Episode 4. Let's go.
He realized nothing he could accomplish could compare to the contributions of his students.
I had no idea.
Oh, I do like how
That was his sacrifice. Your hex gates have done wonders for our city.
Okay.
Scholars from distant lands reignited passions in art.
Okay, so there has been a time skip. This looks so sick, dude. This looks so good. It's difficult to tell what is just 2D art and what is actually a 3D model, because the 3D models look like 2D art. Is that a teleportation ring? That's either a teleportation ring or like a hyperspeed gate. Oh, the mystery. Everybody wants to be my enemy. I should like sing it like every episode, just to torture full-length people. Y'all already pay your money. Y'all staying here. Caitlyn, there has been a time skip. I don't remember how old Caitlyn was like 2 episodes ago, but I'm pretty sure she looked like a teenager. I said like 18. Now she looks like 20s. So I want to say there has been like a year time skip, maybe like a couple, like 5. Oh, there's an X. There's a couple of. Wait, wasn't that one of the? Yep, it's all y'all. Silco's people. Okay, so something's moving. Something's happening. Wait. They're not together. Okay, there's like at least 3 parties here. Random shit, and I'm gonna say like Echo is one of these people or something. I said Echo because they have like cool skates and shit. Oh, that looks like Jinx. Boom. Y'all should go. Wow. That was swift. Alright. Jinx's body count. At least 5, maybe more.
Hi.
Hi. 6, 7, 8. Oh! I mean, here's the thing. This is... Oh, that's her! Is it?
I can't lose you. Why did you leave me? Because you're a jinx!
A divide, yeah. Fucking go! What the fuck? Fucking pull out a minion and start shooting people. Just freaking out. She's just shooting everything. Yeah. She's shooting everything. Indiscriminately. That's not bi, is it? That's not. It's just someone that looks like her. Okay. What do you do with it? Hmm?
Wait!
What did that do? Oh, it's
the means to fortify the crystals.
nothing happens to it. So you can just channel it without it like actually being dangerous? Oh my god, the
We
giant
can now design portable devices.
the giant gauntlet. I fucking yes. Yes. Here's Vi's future weapon. And then just boom! Not even just I mean, that is very practical. That is very practical. That is very useful.
The Hex Claw,
A claw?
a mechanical arm equipped with a powerful ray of light.
Boom. I mean, that is dangerous.
Really possible.
Yeah, I gotta be a little bit more careful.
This is our presentation.
Screws to be tightened, but give it a decade of careful research, and it will be ready.
A decade.
Putting that kind of power into everyone's hands is dangerous.
I do
Keep
agree with
at
that.
it, and I'm sure you will discover a way to safeguard hex tech against misuse.
Maybe not a decade, but don't rush out. Don't rush the product out. It could be really bad. You know, Piltover should develop better cameras before coming up with teleportation magic. She's good at her job. So there was some dude that must have bled here, right? Yes? Mm-hmm. So we broke free. Yeah, he hit there. Yeah.
I didn't do anything. She's crazy.
Easy.
She shot me.
Caitlyn Kiraman. Why does that not surprise me?
Oh, Marcus is here.
Doing an investigation again. You're supposed to be guarding your mother's tent.
Kiss him mustache now.
It was your job to make sure things went smoothly. You failed. Don't disappoint me again.
He's angry at them, not at her. From firing on them. Like, Jinx is the one that actually screwed things up there.
One of those firelight wackos was a girl. With pink hair.
Your sister's gone. You know that as well as I do.
I know. Sisters, right? Can't live with them, can't stuff them back in the old baby maker. I'm sorry.
I need to know that I can rely on you. I'm doing this for us, Jinx. All of us.
This is a very interesting dynamic. They did a lot in that scene. A lot of like body language stuff. The way that she was just leaning on him, it's like Jinx is holding on to the only person that like she has in her life, which is that dude. So they're very close now.
Hextech has the potential to change everything.
Which is why it should be treated carefully.
It wasn't her. It wasn't. I know, just some wannabe street trash. I got confused, that's all.
This is interesting.
Now, he thinks I'm weak. Savika will clean it up. Savika's a regular Johnny on the spot. I'm not weak.
I love this.
And I'm gonna show him.
Oh, she's gonna do some crazy shit on Progress Day. There is a dead Milo like puppet that she made. Also, Victor is dying right now.
Damn it. You had your speech prepared?
He's so sickly. Like, dead ass feel bad for this man. I can kind of see how Victor ends up what he ends up being in the future.
It's time.
The way that Victor on the screen he got replaced by the poster boy. Like, Victor is the one that kind of saved Jace, but maybe he's gonna get jealous that Jace is getting all the spotlight while Victor is just literally just dying in the shadow. This is gonna be horrible. Jinx is gonna do some fucked up shit.
But we're not done yet.
Alright, Victor. Is it gonna do it? I don't know.
We'll share with you
Eventually.
when the time is right.
Yeah, he's not gonna show it right now.
Things that will bring an end to your hardships. Whether you're the scion of our high houses or an honest laborer from the underground. We vow to keep pressing forward, for we are the city of progress and our future is bright.
He pulled it back up, you know? He pulled the speech back up, you know? He kept the emotion right up. I mean, some people didn't like that, but like... Yeah, he pulled it back up. I think he handled it pretty well.
Last year, didn't he launch a blimp halfway across the continent?
Airship, actually. An airship has a rigid metal hull. It's not a blimp.
It's a balloon, ain't it?
Sure as hell looks that way.
Caitlyn is a smart ass.
Pardon us if we aren't
She's
quite
great.
so refined as you, milady.
What are you even doing here?
She's really
Caitlyn?
book smart.
Don't you have a cocktail party to attend?
Oh, everyone... She's the outcast because she's from a prestigious family. No, that's not real. That's a trap. That's Jinx doing some fucked up shit. The entire place is gonna blow up. And all of these enforcers are gonna die. What's the body count out now? Like 8? I don't know how many people just died. Oh my god. She was right there. She was watching. Damn it, Caitlyn. You should have ulted her. Where's Vi?
along
She
with
stole
some
it!
research papers.
That's really bad.
It was my responsibility to safeguard this technology, and I failed. My mistake cost people their lives. I have come before you to recommend that we suspend all Hex-Tech operations until the situation is resolved.
He's backing down. He's scared.
Piltover status as a global shipping lane depends on it.
It's gotten too big now. That's true. That makes sense.
Mr. Tallis has demonstrated his commitment to our safety.
What if he builds
He's
weapons
willing
for
to
us?
sacrifice his own enterprise. And it seems to me only Mr. Tallis has the knowledge necessary to secure the hex gates. I propose that a new chair be brought forth, and that House Tallis be elevated to this august body.
What?
As a counselor, he will have the resources necessary to protect all our investments.
Security should be administered by a scientist. I second the motion.
Well then, shall we vote?
Okay, they're just adding a new chair. And Jace is part of it now. He's like, what the fuck? Oh my god. I showed you in your face. Oh my god, they're doing it. There we go. There we go. It's coming back. It's all coming back.
That's me.
Half a dozen enforcers dead.
I brought this.
I do.
Yeah, that's Dead Milo Puppet. Jinx is so fucked. Like, I have stuff to say about what's going on. Like, oh my god.
The answer is here, staring me in the face. I can feel it.
I just want to say Caitlyn's built. Her arms look awesome.
Since when did you concern yourself with the council's opinion?
Since I became a member of it.
They discovered how to govern with grease and a spanner.
How tall is Jace?
You might consider joining my staff.
I'd live behind a desk.
She's not taking
I
that.
almost died, Kate.
No, she's not taking that.
I don't need charity, counselor. Yours or my parents.
Kate.
Get out.
That's what they trust for the dude. She's just gonna go and try to talk to the dude. See what he knows. Okay, Caitlyn on the case. Fucking love Caitlyn. Like, I already liked Caitlyn. Now I like her more. She has a lot of personality. That's... Oh my god. So she's in prison. Oh my god. She's in prison and all she's been doing is just punching walls. Damn. She's tattooed up.
Who the hell are you?
Your future girlfriend, that's who she is. Man, like they really teased me like that. The entire episode, I'm just like, where is she? Where's my girl? And then at the end, it's like, okay, here we go. It's interesting that we saw Jinx before we saw Vi, like after the time skip, you know? I would have expected it to be the other way because Jinx is the one that went through more radical change, I think. Okay, so here's the thing, is that when I watched previous episode, I was like, next episode cannot possibly be something like so heavy, you know? Because like, that episode only worked because it was built up. This next episode really needs to chill the fuck down. That's the only way it could go. So yes, this episode did chill down a little bit. But more than that, it gave us a time skip. It gave us a straight up time skip which I wasn't expecting for. Like, you know what I was expecting? I was expecting it to be like an episode where the time skip is happening. I wasn't expecting just like a straight up, all right, here we are like 7 years later, you know? And I don't know how many years this has been, but let's say like something like 7 years. So Jinx was a kid when that happened. And given she's like a teenager right now, sure, 7 years sounds fine. Let's say that Jinx was like 10. So 17, sure, I can see that. That means that if Vi was something like 16 or 15, then she must be in her like close to her mid-20s? Yeah, that's fine. I can see that. Okay, so, alright, this episode, actually, most of the focus went into following Jace, Caitlyn, and Jinx, which was pretty good. I'm a big fan of that. Like, okay, so what's interesting about the Jace storyline is that 2 episodes ago, Jace was like, what if we use magic technology? And everyone was like, what the fuck, are you crazy? And then this episode, he's like, maybe we should chill down with the magic technology. It's a little bit dangerous. And everyone's like, what the fuck, are you crazy? We're making so much money. We cannot possibly stop using the magic technology. What, are you fucking insane? And it's like, oh my god. And somehow that conversation turned into, what if Jace becomes a council member? 2 episodes ago, they were about to exile him for the land. Like, what the fuck? It's so crazy that this is the direction Jace's story went, you know, just like his entire like biography is just like, what the fuck am I reading, you know, from like one side to the other. But like, okay, it's not something crazy to see because I already kind of knew that Jace was gonna go in this direction. I just thought it would take a little bit longer. Given the time skip again was like 7 years or something like that, I'm ballparking, so sure, that makes sense. Because I said before in the game, Jace, I remember Jace being like the prodigy and everyone looks at him and he's like, oh, he's like the hero of Piltover. He created so much crazy shit, he's so good. So I was thinking, okay, Jace is gonna end up in a very positive light eventually. But in this episode, he's already there, so I was thinking, okay, how do we create conflict for this character then? Because I thought his storyline was going to be like, he's at the bottom and he's like slowly climbing to the top. But here, he's already there. Like, Jace's scenes really went from like, I have this crazy thing I want to do, and everyone's like, what the fuck, that's fucked up. And then he's like, I'm going to do it anyway. Victor shows up, saves his life, and he's like, let's do it together. Okay. Then they do it, and then they go like, oh shit, it works. And then the next scene, he's like, anyway, I'm the most famous person on the planet. It's like, holy shit, okay. I think he's like, his storyline, like in the show, the drama is gonna come from the fact that he, like, okay, so now he's actually being very cautious about what dangers might happen, which before he really wasn't. It's not that he wasn't, it's that he was more concerned about progress. But now he's actually thinking, wait, shit, like, this could be really bad. This could be really bad. And maybe I should have been listening to Heimerdinger. So now he's actually being like, okay, maybe we should be a little bit more careful. Maybe we should chill down a little bit. Thing is that now everyone else who was on his side is like, jeez, what the fuck, man? The counselor lady, I don't remember her name, I'm sorry, but the counselor lady who's been supporting them, and she's like, yes, we have investors and everything. That lady, now she's like, all right, hold on. Victor is like, all right, hold on. I thought we were together on this. I thought we were gonna push for progress and stuff. So, but Jace is actually trying to be more cautious, which is understandable. And like, that's the thing, is that like, I can't really be mad at either of them in a way, because like, okay, so I think the worst one is for Victor. I think I can understand Victor's perspective more, because nobody said this, but I can tell just from visuals that Victor is sick. He's really sick, and I feel, because like even before when okay, so his base design, like episodes ago, his base design was really already like, I'm scrawny and pale and I have like a cane. And this episode, it's like, I'm more scrawny, more pale, I have dark circles under my eyes, I'm literally just sitting down in most scenes, and I'm still have the cane when I stand up. I'm like, oh my god. It's like, Victor looks so sick. He looks like he's about to die in like a year. Like, I don't know what is going on with him, but let's just say that his body's just weak. Let's just say he has like weak anime body condition, you know, just like fucking Nagisa from Clannad. Like, he's just ill. He's just very sickly. I can see the reason why he's something like, he's like, we gotta push for progress now, because he actually wants to see the world change. He wants to see the progress before he fucking dies. And the fact that Heimerdinger is like, you know, just refine it for another decade and then we can use it, you know, just to be safe. And and he's the one that says like a decade, and Heimerdinger is like, yeah, don't worry, we'll pass in like a blink of an eye. And it's like, to Heimerdinger, that's easy to say. He's like, how old is he? He's like 300 years old. He said that. And Victor, on the other hand, I don't know how old he is. Let's say he's like 30, and he looks like he's gonna die at 31. Like, I can imagine Victor just listening to that and being like, I'm not gonna be alive to see the progress. So in a way, he's like, I want to see it. And in another more twisted perspective that he also thought about is that maybe Victor is seeing this and he's like, if we can keep channeling this power, maybe I can find a way in order to like survive, you know? And maybe that's what it is. Like, maybe, so Okay, so Arcane watchers only people that have not played the game. In the game, Victor just straight up has like a full-on bodysuit of armor, you know? And I just realized he has the claw. I just realized the claw that he developed that it was in the episode that is coming from the back. He does use that in the game, and it shoots like the laser. So I didn't realize. I don't play Victor, so I didn't clue into that. But now that I think about it, he has that. Yeah, so that was funny. So sure, he has that, but he has like a full-on bodysuit of armor, and I'm just like, why the fuck is he a twink in the show? Like, what happened? And I think that was gonna happen. It could be something like what's the name of this fucking Mass Effect character? Tali Soda? Something like that. I don't know. I only play like a little bit of Mass Effect, but there's a character in Mass Effect that is like an alien race that just has she has like a full-on bodysuit of armor. The point is that because her race is like a race that would die in contact with oxygen or some shit, so they all need to live inside like this bodysuits. So I'm thinking that maybe Victor has something like that going on. Maybe he's not so much a cyborg as much as it is literally just a bodysuit of armor that he makes because if he continues to be in contact with the environment, he could get even more sick, which reduces his life expectancy. So maybe in the game, like I say in the game, but maybe at the end of the show, he just makes a full-on body armor just to survive, like some sort of like a shell protecting him from the outside ambient. So that would make sense, I guess. I can see that happening because like he looks very ill. Like he looks very sickly. Like it looks like my man's dying. So he could do something like that. Like sorry, like whenever I watch the show, I feel like I have to apologize a little bit when I bring things that I know from the game into my discussion for it, but like listen man, like I cannot help it. Like I have to use all the pieces of knowledge that I know. Talking about the game, someone left me a comment that said you know how in League there is a voice line that Jinx says of like, you think I'm crazy? You should see my sister. She's referring to Vi. I completely forgot that. I completely forgot that was a line that she says. So with the context of Arcane, so now that recontextualizes that line a little bit with Arcane coming out, because I don't think, nobody has told me yet, but I don't think they were sisters before. I think that Vi and Jinx being sisters is something that Arcane added in. Still not sure if that is the case, but I don't remember them being sisters in the past. So let me know in the comments exactly how that goes, but I don't think they were. But it is kind of cool that line is like a little bit recontextualized because of Arcane. But also, Vi is not crazy, Jinx says. And I want to talk about that because we did spend a fair amount of time with Jinx. And man, oh man, there's a lot to talk about Jinx. And like, it makes sense, you know? This character, Jinx, is like, here's the thing. If you're gonna make the crazy psycho waifu Joker character, that we have a quirky character now, we can sell skins now, you know? People like their crazy girlfriends. Sure, we can work with that. But if you want to grab said character and actually make it like a real character with real drama, this character is going to have to go through some stuff, man. In order to get there, that character is going to have to go through some shit. And that's exactly what the show did previous episode. And now in this episode, you can see it go even more fucked up. Because the thing is that it makes a lot of sense that like Jinx broke. It makes a lot of sense that Jinx just breaks previous episode. And then in the aftermath, and the thing is that you don't really see her in the process of breaking because you don't see what happened in between previous episodes and this one, but you see her as she is right now and you feel like shit because of the implication of what this kid has been going through for so many years. All right, so I have to praise every scene with her and Silco. Because the thing about Silco is that he just adopted Jinx. And previous episode, I saw that and I was like, oh my god, this dude is just taking advantage of her. Which in a way, I'm pretty sure he is. But in this episode, it doesn't look so much as that as it is just the fact that he really just adopted this daughter. He really just adopted her because people are complaining to him like, oh my god, this crazy bitch is ruining everything. He's like, it's fine, just go. And then he talks to Jinx, he's like, Jinx, what happened? I want you to talk to me about it. You know, he's actually acting like a dad, which is weird. And then the thing about Jinx is that I like that she literally just jumped down and sat next to him on the desk, and then she like leaned on him, and then she was like caressing him, and then she like injected his eye or whatever. And the way they treated that, Silco had like a thing, and he just like gave it to her, and she like grabs, and she was like, yeah. And as they were conversing, she was doing it. Just the fact that that's the way that scene was like directed in a way, like adds so much to these characters, because it means that Silco and Jinx have this like very like close relationship at this point, to the point that they do shit like that and they don't even talk to the other about it. Like he doesn't say, Jinx, inject me with the eye shit because I need it. He just had it and he just gave it to her as they were conversing, and then she started doing it as they were conversing, and then she like laid on him. So that's like body language and like displays of affection, you know? So the thing is that all of that gives you this painting, this vision of Jinx. It's not just the fact that they're close, it's the fact that Jinx is no one else, you know? Jinx literally has no one else, because her dad died, she killed him. Her friends died, she killed him. Her sister told her to go fuck herself because she killed everyone, punch her in the face, and then run away. And that's as much as she knows. That's literally everything that happened in Jinx's life. So she had parents, they died in the war. She was an orphan with her sister. They were taken under Vander. Vander took care of them, and then some shit happened, and then she killed everyone except for sister. And then when she's crying to her sister, telling to her, I'm sorry, then her sister punches her in the face and tells her to go fuck herself, and then run away. And that's as much as what happened in Jinx's like social life, you know, her relationship with any other human being. So she's completely alone. She feels completely alone, and she's fucking broken, because she should be, because like it's fucked what happened previous episode. She killed everyone. She killed the people that she cared about, and the person that she didn't hates her for it. And she's like a kid. She was like 10. And now she's like an edgy teenager, so it makes sense that she's acting this way too. So like, in a way, it makes complete sense for her to be at the point where she's at. But also, Silco came in and he was like, I'm gonna take care of you now. And he was actually probably very nice to her. And then she was like, okay, I got him. I got someone that cares about me. I got someone that loves me and won't yell at me and punch me. And so she grows to be very close to him, not necessarily because he's like the greatest guy, but because there's literally no one else. And like that's the thing about humans. That's the thing about like the human psyche. You need people in your life. You do need to connect with other human beings. It's impossible to ask you to just be completely alone without just breaking. And especially Jinx, because if you look back at what Jinx's childhood was, she was always with someone. She had her family, she had her sister, and her sister always took care of her. And like, scenes in episode 1 and 2 are really sad. Like, knowing what happens in the future, because you see them being so close together. And I keep remembering this scene that I remember I pointed it out, and now it hurts to remember, which was this scene where Vi goes and just sits next to Jinx in her bed, and Jinx is like making her like gadgets and shit, and Vi kind of just sits next to her and just like caresses her cheek a little bit, just like that. And Jinx and brushes her hair aside, and Jinx just kind of looks at her and smiles. And I was like, fuck, dude. They're really like, that's a preemptive twist of the knife. That's what that is. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. And like, but what that means is that Jinx is a person who always had someone. And even you can see it even when they're doing stuff, you know, in the first episode, they're doing like the heist or whatever. Jinx is the one that is like kind of having a hard time keeping up with everybody. So she's always had someone to kind of guide her. So previous episode, when she loses everything, it means that she needs to latch onto someone in order to just function as a person. She's never known what it was like to not be attached to someone. So when Silco comes around, She immediately just jumps onto him. Like, literally, immediately as that thing happened, he, like, came in and he was like, okay, it's gonna be okay. And she immediately just goes and hugs him. And it's like, okay, I have someone. I have someone to hold on to. So that explains exactly why she's like this now. It doesn't really explain the crazy too much, but let's say that that's due to trauma. That makes sense. But, like, the reason why she's so, like, into this dude is because she has to hold on to someone in order to function. And he's literally the only person that was there. So they're very close as a result. He's there for her and she needs someone to be there for her. And there you go. And that's really fucked up because that's a really fucked up relationship to have with anyone. Just the idea that like I'm hanging out with this person just because I need to have someone. So that's all I have. So I need to hold on to this person. And like, it can be toxic and fucked up in so many different directions, depending on what direction the person takes it, you know? But it's crazy to me how much I'm talking about this, despite this scene, like the scenes just literally being visuals, you know? Whenever they're talking, the fact that she lays on him, that conveys so much to me. So yeah, that. Now let's talk about the crazy factor. And when I say the crazy factor, it's not so much crazy as it is just like fucked up. So Jinx has a couple scenes where, okay, so when she sees a girl with pink hair, she freaks the fuck out. Completely understandable. She sees Vi in that girl, and then she just starts freaking out and shooting everything. Yeah, that's kind of PTSD. That's kind of what that is. And I don't blame her for it. Because sure, that would be so fucked. And I like how the visuals of the show represent a lot in what they show, because she kept seeing Vi and visions of Vi, and then in that scene where she like punches her and shit, and she says, "You're a Jinx," and then you see like literally like physically they rip the scene in half with like a line, and it's like, oh, that's cool. They're like literally showing you the divide between these two characters. There is a couple of scenes where the camera just cuts. It's like it was directed by someone with ADHD, you know? It was like Jinx said something and then it cut and she said something else and then it cut and then she said something else. And she was in different positions every time. And what that is supposed to signify is that it's supposed to signify like Jinx's like mental state almost, or like thoughts. So it shows you that Jinx's thoughts literally just jump from one place to the other. There's a literal like Milo puppet that she made, which is fucked. Was it just Milo? There might be more than Milo. Okay, so I just saw that scene again. Just straight up, there is like a Milo puppet, like a full body Milo puppet that she made out of like scraps and shit, just sitting on like a chair over there, like a sofa. And also I think there's like a Milo plushie thing that she made that's like hanging from the ceiling. And then also, the one that is the most noticeable is that when she's just freaking out, behind her, there is like a Milo ghost just sitting there looking at her and then just goes away. It's specifically Milo. And I thought maybe there would be Claire, maybe they would be buying. No, it's just Milo. So I'm thinking that she straight up had a crush on Milo. No. It could be one of two things. Because I keep thinking about their interactions in the previous episodes. And like none of those interactions were positive. Like every time Milo was talking shit on Powder. So I'm thinking, why the fuck would she have so many Milo like puppets? And it could be a thing of like she actually did care about him and love him a lot. Or it could be a thing of like, I hate him, and so I create a bunch of like Milo puppets and robots that I can shoot at. But like, girl, you already killed him. Like, I don't know which one is more fucked. Because like, if it means like maybe she loved him. Maybe she actually did love him and had some sort of a crush on him, which would be a weird crush to have because he like bullied her a lot. But like, maybe that's the case. I don't know. It's difficult to handle your feelings. But like, if that's the case, it means that she killed the person she had a crush on and she was never able to move on past it. The other alternative version is she hated him and she killed him And after she killed him, she's still like, fuck, I hated him. I hate that guy so fucking much. And she makes like a fucking Wilson puppet of Milo just to fucking grab a gun and shoot at. And it's like, girl, he's already dead. Like, I don't know which one is more fucked. And like, that's really interesting to me. Or maybe it's both. Maybe it's a mixture of feelings. That makes complete sense if it was. So the fact that there is a ghost of Milo that shows up and looks at her, and you know, the thing is that that's not a literal ghost. That's a brain ghost. That's Jinx feeling like he's hunting her. Okay, that's what that's supposed to be. So if he is like hunting her mentally and emotionally, it means that actually had an impact on her. It means that that actually had an impact on her. But why did Milo's death have an impact on her versus like Clagger's death, you know? Or we don't know what happened to Vi. Why isn't... Okay, we see that Vi has an impact on her because of her freak out at the earlier on the episode. But like, why Milo specifically? That's what I'm struggling to think. Did she love him? Did she hate him? Is the mixture of emotions of like, I hated him so much, but I didn't want to kill him. But now I'm trying to convince myself that I did want to kill him just to cope with it. But internally, like subconsciously, I actually feel guilty about it. It could be something like that. I can see that. Yeah, I don't know what that means. But the thing is that Jinx is not doing good. And like, that's the sad part about this, is that I remember the little girl who just wanted to help, and now she's alone and like this like crazy like hideout tower full of graffiti and gadgets. And the thing is that all her graffitis and gadgets are like literally just like smiling monkeys, like fucking NFTs and shit. Like, it's like a bunch of like childish happy drawings. And then when you look at her, she's literally just like sitting on a corner, just holding her head just like this, and just being like, they think I did bad, oh fuck. Like, okay, because of the visuals, I am led to believe that Jinx is like struggling and being haunted by the past. For some reason, specifically Milo, more than anyone. Like, I don't know, maybe she didn't know Clagger that well. Let's say that Clagger, like big boy, you just forgotten the time, you know? Like, let's say that maybe they weren't that close. But maybe she was close with Milo. And Vi's not dead. Maybe Milo's the only one that haunts her because of that. But I don't know exactly why. But there's a lot of moments here where she's literally just emoting and just being like, and then just, and then just, And it's like, she's very emotional. And the thing is that she doesn't want to be a failure. She doesn't want to be weak. And like, I feel like she's losing it. Like, I can see her losing it. And like, she's losing it because of like, literally just like trauma. She's so fucked up after what happened. And she has no one other than some dude who just wants to use her. Well, here's the thing, is that I'm actually inclined to believe that like Silco actually does care about her. Like, Silco actually, and this is something that I noticed in previous episode while I was editing the episode. There is a moment when Silco is holding like Jinx, and then he looks at Vander's dead body, and that makes you think a little bit. Like, I didn't think anything initially, but when I was editing, I was like, why did he do that? And then I'm thinking about like, maybe the show wants me to look at that and be like, that's the moment he was like, oh, this is what it feels to be a dad and take care of his children. So then that's the moment he like actually understood Vander. Because the thing is that previously he didn't understand Vander. He didn't. Like, the entire time he was like, why do you refuse to fight? And then maybe at that moment is the moment that he like, for like a second, he understood him. He was like, oh, this is why you didn't want to fight, because you wanted to take care of this girl. Like, maybe that's the moment he realized it. And sorry, this should be in the previous episode discussion, but I'm putting it right here because here I noticed it in the editing. I'm sorry. But like that's something that could be the case. And maybe Silco moving forward will be a character who's actually like, maybe at one point he'll make the decision not to like commit to like the anarchy master plan. And in fact, he'll be like, actually, I want to protect Jinx, my daughter, you know? It could be something like that. That could be really interesting. this episode I started counting how many people did Jinx kill. And it was funny because previous episodes she at least killed 3. I don't know if she killed more than 3. Let's say that maybe she did. You know, people that were just... people that Vi punched and then they were on the floor. They probably died in the explosion. So Jinx killed at least 3 people, maybe like 10, 15, 20. This episode, then I started counting as she was killing people, and then it was like 5, 7, maybe 8, I'm not sure. The body count is going up, and all I can think about is the fucking little girl who just wanted to help. Like, that's so fucked, dude. That's so crazy to me. By the way, I also realized later that title of previous episode is The Base Violence Necessary for Change. That title has dual meaning, because the first meaning is when Silco says it, he's like, the base violence necessary for change, you know, like anarchy and the civil war, and we gotta get our rights back, you know? And the base violence necessary for change is also Powder doing what she did previous episode, which changed her into this. So that's the other one. So that's a fun, clever title. I'm a big fan of that title. I haven't seen a title so good in so long. So what else do I talk about? I suppose Caitlyn. Let's talk about Caitlyn. I fucking love Caitlyn, dude. Like, here's the thing. I love Caitlyn. Here's the thing. I love Caitlyn. Like, I just do. I always did in League. Like, she's just posh, and she's tall, and she's cool, and she has a gun. She has a big rifle, and she has like a dumb hat. And I'm like, that's good. Keep it going. I like the thing about Caitlyn is also like, it's not really a spoiler, but it's like things that I've seen about Arcane on Twitter, and it's the fact that everybody loves how tall Caitlyn is, and I can see it, and also like it's the pairing of Caitlyn and Vi. And here's the thing, is that I don't know if that pairing is canon. I don't know if it's gonna be canon in the show. Like, people who watch Arcane, I don't know how the relationship develops, okay? I don't know if there is a relationship. But back in 2013, back in 2012 even, Vi came out in 2012, Jinx 13. So back in 2012 and onwards, there was the pairing of Vi and Caitlyn, and that was a big pairing. It was one of the main pairings that people had about League. And you know, I frequented like League, like fan art and shit. So I've seen a lot of people like pairing Vi and Caitlyn together, and I love that pairing because like they have like the buddy cop dynamic going, you know? Like Vi is the brash one. She's like, yeah, let's go get him. And then Caitlyn is like actually the one that's like sipping tea in the background. And she's like, Vi, oh my fucking god. Okay, we can do it, but first let's think about this. And Vi is like, fuck thinking. And she just like punches some dude in the face, just breaks the wall down. I love that pairing. I think that's a great character dynamic for a duo. The thing is that with Arcane, that pairing has resurfaced, and a lot of people just, I don't know, people were just drawing a bunch of fan art. Oh god, I've seen a really good piece of fan art. Like 2 months ago, I saw a really good piece of fan art, which was like, I'm sorry, I don't know the artist because I'm not gonna be able to find that piece of fan art anymore. But if someone knows it, just let me know. But like, it was like Jinx just screaming at Vi, just being like, fuck the police, and then Vi going, I'm trying. I love that. I love that so much. So when Caitlyn went into prison at the end, and she found Vi, and Vi is like, who are you? I'm just like, future girlfriend. That's what she is. Let's fucking go. Let's go, lesbian. That's so fucking good. I love that so much. So that's the thing. That's my hope for this show. Is that this show ends in a lesbian relationship between those two characters. That's the only thing I want, because that's the only happiness we could maybe aim to have in this world between two characters that I know are alive because they are in the game. But like, everything else is fucked. So let me have this one. Just give me this one, man. Just this one thing. Just this one time, give me something, man. I love Caitlyn, and in this episode, we actually got to see a lot of Caitlyn's personality, like character, because that's the thing about a character like Caitlyn. It's not a character like Caitlyn. It's very much like by the book, you know, just like serious and just like, no, we gotta do this, you know, we gotta do this properly. You know, that's what she feels like. But in this episode, we actually got to see a lot more about her, and it's the idea that like she is really into cracking cases, but not so much cracking cases as it is just finding the truth and doing the right thing and just like fucking getting it done, because she's being So people, Marcus, we see Marcus now. He has a mustache now. Fucking Marcus. So he's like, Caitlyn, no, just don't do this. You go on act security or whatever. And Caitlyn is like, I wanna crack this case. And like the thing is that while she's cracking the case, while she's at the crime scene, she actually looks like very capable. That's something else I wanted to point out, is that when she's at the crime scene, she's like bullet casings. Okay, so the gun was like around here. It went in this direction. This broke. Okay, there's blood here. Someone was trapped in here. They probably were trapped after the gun went off. So maybe the person was still around, and then she went to look, and the dude was in fact still around, and he was shot, and he was hiding. So it's like Caitlyn has this like very clear like deduction ability, which she's like yeah, perfect, and done. Let's do that. And like that's something I love. I love seeing that. And like, you know, like this is funny because this makes you think to like so I haven't watched Sherlock, but I've seen a clip of Sherlock of fucking Benedict Cumberbatch just having like seeing some crazy shit and just being like, no, that, and then some crazy music playing. And I was like, oh my fucking God, what is Stephen Moffat doing? I mean, I know, but like that's so fucking dumb. This is what you want to see. You want to see a character actually visibly just from a third person perspective, just being like, that means that happened. Yes. Okay. Yeah, sure. This is what went on. It's like, that's like a realistic deduction that also just shows you how the thought process is going for the character. I think that's perfect. I think we should do that more. So I really like that about Caitlyn, but also the fact that like her peers, the other person at the police, the enforcers, they look at her and they go like, yeah, fucking go drink some martinis or whatever. Just, I don't know what they said, but like it's the idea that everyone looks down on her because she's like a member of like a prestigious family. So everyone's like, what the fuck do you think you're doing here? Like, you think you're a cop? You think you're gonna be a cop? You're not tough enough to be a cop. Like, fuck you. Who the fuck are you? Go and fucking go party or whatever. So the fact that she's struggling with that, like everyone rejects her, but Caitlyn is actually really capable, and like she also has these little things where like they said like, oh, didn't he sound like a blimp halfway through the world or some shit? And she was like, it wasn't a blimp. It was what the fuck was it? Zeppelin? I don't know this thing. Well, that's the difference between me and Caitlyn. I'm stupid. Caitlyn is not. That's my point. Caitlyn is actually book smart and also like logic smart. So Caitlyn is just smart. Caitlyn knows shit. So, and the fact that she's like, oh, actually, what's that? And it's like, she's like proud as she says that, you know, she's like correcting people. And to her, that's like a normal thing. Like, she doesn't do that to be an asshole. She does that just because like, oh, I know the answer. And everyone's like, who the fuck do you think you're doing? We're just talking shit here. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, it's like, she doesn't really fit with like the commoners, you know? And that's true. That's just a reality. But she's trying really hard to actually be of use. And she wants to be useful. And she wants to like, and she's very much capable, as much as people look down on her. So like, I really love how Caitlyn is that. I love that that's like her struggle, I suppose, as a character. But then also the fact that like at the end, she's investigating on her own. She's like, I'm gonna crack this shit because I think I got something going on here. It's the fact that like we have so many of these characters who are actually like defying what has been told to them, you know? So like Jay's defied Piltover and now he's like doing great. Caitlyn is defying the enforcers, and I'm assuming Caitlyn is gonna be onto something, you know, with Vi. Yeah, because if Caitlyn talks to Vi, because like it makes sense, because Vi punched the dude who cannot talk anymore. If she punched them, she can maybe infer, oh, and she knows that Vi is probably the person that Marcus brought over, and then Marcus sent into prison. She's gonna be like, okay, you're connected in some way. Do you know anything about this? And she will show her the pictures of like the monkey faces and whatever, and she's gonna be like, that's her. That's Powder. And maybe Vi is gonna beg Caitlyn to just be like, let me out, allow me to help, I know. And then maybe she will go and help because it's like, I'm personally involved with this person. I can help you out, and I'm gonna try to like find her, get her or something. So maybe that's how they're gonna get Vi out of prison, and then she's gonna go help out Caitlyn. There you go. That's how it starts. Okay, I can see it happening. So yeah, okay. I don't know what else to say. I mean, Jace is a member of the council now. I don't know how that's gonna go. I don't know if that's gonna matter much. I mean, it might. Like, okay, I want to talk about Victor too, because like I mentioned about Victor earlier when I said like he's sickly. But the other thing that I kind of hinted at during the reaction is that I look at Victor and I'm thinking that like maybe we're actually gonna go down to like jealousy road, you know, like a little bit. So Victor, like, Jace is literally the poster boy. He, like, all the spotlights are on him. He's the golden boy. He's the man of the future, the man of progress, whatever they called him. He's literally on every poster and every blimp. Everyone's just like, everybody loves Jace. He created new technology. He's Einstein of this generation, you know? So, like, everyone's like, oh my god, he's the best. Everybody loves Jace. Nobody talks about Victor. And Victor is literally the guy who saved Jace's life, and he's the guy who was right there. And like I think it was previous episode when they were experimenting, I think Victor said your research and Jace said our research, you know? It's the idea that they're doing this together, and the reason why he succeeded is because they did it together. And Victor was also the one that contributed, like, he did contribute like key aspects of the experiment previous episode, but Jace is the one that gets all the spotlight. And the thing is that in this episode, it doesn't sound like Victor is too, in this episode, it doesn't feel like Victor has strong feelings about that. But I can see in the future, now that there has been like a little bit of a divide where Joyce is like, actually, I think we should be more careful. And Victor is like, no, we should keep going. That creates a divide in opinion. Now Jace is somehow becoming a council member, even though he doesn't want to. And maybe, the thing is that maybe at some point we're just going to see Victor be like, he's the one who gets all the recognition. His name is everywhere. He's the man of progress. Even though I'm the one who also helped with this research, everyone just forgets about me. And I'm literally just sitting in this corner in the shadow dying because he looks so sickly. So I can imagine Victor just kind of losing it a little bit, just being like, just because like that's so fucked. It's the fact that like there's two people that created the new modern technology. Two people. One of them gets all the recognition. The other one is literally just in the corner, just dying. It's like, that's kind of sad. So I can imagine Victor just maybe losing it a little bit and being like starting to hold a grudge towards Jace, even though Jace is not necessarily someone that wants all this recognition, or someone that necessarily wants to take recognition away from Victor. That's just kind of how branding works, I guess. So yeah, that could be a thing. Anyway, I think that's it for this episode. I don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about necessarily. Oh, there was the dudes in the skateboards that were trying to destroy the Shimmer. I'm gonna say, I think one of them got away. That might have been Echo. If one of them got away, I think that might have been Echo. One of them did get away. Or like two of them. So I'm gonna throw a random guess and I'm gonna say that's like Echo. And the reason why is because that does not look like Piltover people. It really doesn't. It doesn't look like anyone from Piltover. They don't look nearly like posh or steampunk enough. They look like Undercity people. But they're fighting against the Shimmer. So they were like, dispose of all the Shimmer. And they were attacking Silco's people. That means that there are at least three factions. You got Silco, you got the Silco people and the Shimmer. You got Piltover, and now you got whatever this was. And the thing is, they wore cool outfits, like cool, like street outfits with like a school mask or something like that, like a bandana, and they had like cool neon skates. And I'm just like, that sounds like Echo to me. That really sounds like Echo's like design. I don't think Echo has a skateboard, like a neon like hoverboard, like Back to the Future style. He does have like the little like baseball thing that he hits. So like, to me, that all rounds into the same area of like a character like theme or design. So I'm thinking that maybe one of those people is Echo. So maybe Echo is now like a freedom fighter. Not a freedom fighter. That's kind of what Silco's trying to be. But Echo is more like an anti-corruption fighter, something like that. Like he grew up and he's like trying to find out all the fucked up shit, and he's discovered enough, and now he's actually taking an active effort because like I think Benzo was the name of the dude from previous episode who died, and I think that was like Echo's like father figure or something like that. So And like everyone knows that Echo knew her friend, his friends and everything, like they died or disappeared. So it's like all this fucked up shit because of this. And he saw everything, so he knows a lot. So I can imagine Echo grew up to also be like holding a grudge against that. So that would make a lot of sense. So I might random guess that guy in the skateboard might have been Echo. Anyway, so I don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about. I mean, I just love Caitlyn. Dude, Caitlyn looks so fucking beefy. Like, not mega beefy, but like, she looked built. You know? She looked fit as fuck. Dude, is that what it's gonna be? It's gonna be the 2 fit girlfriends? I would love that. I would fucking love that. Anyway, I think that's gonna be it for this episode of Arcane. I'm skimming through it real quick just to see if there's anything else I want to talk about. But I don't think so. No, I think I'm gonna be good. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this episode of Arcane. Thank you for being here. But if you would like to watch the next 2 episode reactions to Arcane, you can already do so over at the Patreon. Check out the link in the description below for that. Social media, my Twitch stream, I stream sometimes. Yeah, or social cool stuff. See you guys next time. Bye bye. Take care.